be. And what this was actually a fireworks tent that was set up in a parking lot, and thankfully they moved all the fireworks away. But the tent, as you can see, mangled in the strong winds. From our intern, Dylan, who works at Belmar Golf Club in Norman. They got a giant tournament that starts tomorrow. They're going to have a lot of the grounds crews keeping up and cleaning up from the debris. We have a lot of trees that are down there, as well as just a lot of sticks and twigs also on the course there too. And then there's another picture that Andrew sent in, our storm tracker in Blanchard. A lot of tree damage down in the Blanchard area from, again, the strong winds that we had coming on through this afternoon with our storm system. So this is what it looked like on our reflectivity over the past 12 hours. You had those storms coming on in from the northwest, but also interestingly too, we had those storms developing in the southeast corner of the state that kind of grew off to the northwest. Then they clashed basically right in the metro before our northwestern storms that have been moving southeast just took over and has pushed everything that direction. But kind of just crazy to see the interaction occurring, and then everything just kind of pushed on farther off down to the south into the southeast. Now, there's been a lot of heavy rain. We actually have a number of flash flood warnings that remain in place. And in the Atoka area, they actually had a flash flood emergency earlier on today. So that's the first one that the National Weather Service in Norman has issued in about 6 years. So it's been a long time for a flash flood emergency. So heavy rain fell in that part of the state. And this is actually the 12-hour Doppler radar estimated rainfall reports. You can see there's that corridor of the heavy rain. We're in the metro area and off to the northwest, generally in that about 1 to 3 inch range, but a 2-inch reports. And then, but you can see though farther down to the southeast, Wynnewood, Sulphur coming in there with radar estimated reports coming in over 6 inches. And then here is Atoka just down to there. And you can see there's an 8.7 that we've got highlighted there. So there very well could have been, you know, that's radar estimated, but we very well could have been talking about 6, 7, maybe even close to 8 inches worth of rain that actually fell there. On the radar, on the Mesonet sites, as you can see, it is heavy down there, but not 8 inches, but still though coming in, over 3.5 inches worth of rain. So a lot of rain fell, and over the past 7 days, we've seen a lot of it, especially across Green Country and now the southern parts of the state, with kind of the western fringe and even central Oklahoma, as well as the Panhandle, kind of losing out a bit on that heaviest of heavy rain, but at least you've seen something across much of the area. Now on our Skycam network across the area, it's cloudy, but we are pretty dry right now with temperatures that remain just rain cooled in the 70s. There are some more 80s and even some 90s in the Panhandle where it is sunnier there, but we've got winds that are generally kind of variable out of the southeast at around 10 to 20 miles an hour. But the big question is, do we see any storms for the remainder of the day and into the nighttime hours tonight? There's nothing right now across northwest Oklahoma or Kansas, and we don't know if there's going to be anything there. Now, there's probably going to be some storms within Colorado that have yet to develop, but it just remains to be seen if they're going to be able to make their way into our area. You'll see we got wind gusts up to 80 miles an hour, golf ball sized hail with our slight risk. But as we animate through our future cast, you're going to see that there's probably not much more activity for the rest of this evening into tonight. Now, by tomorrow morning, I do think that we are going to be looking at some storms, but this would be tomorrow's forecast. So I think we're looking at an overall dry rest of our evening as well as overnight tonight. And then as you can see, we've got just big big splotch of rain showers and storms kind of coming on down. That will be providing us with more opportunities for heavy rain and then wind. 70, and then we're again watching those storms coming in from the northwest with highs that are going to be in the 80s and a few low 90s. So could we be done with some storms for tonight? We probably are, but we have more storms in our forecast for this week. And then Adam, we're still expecting things to dry out and heat up as we head towards the weekend, and we'll have the latest on that in our main weather in a little bit.
All right, thank you, Jack. Well, the flooding continuing to create problems across parts of northern Oklahoma. Several highways still closed because of the high water in Kate County. US 177 remains closed between Blackwell and Brahman, while US 77 is shut down between Riverview Road and Oakland Road. State Highway 156 between McCord and Marland also remains closed because of flooding. Choctaw County, State Highway 109 remains closed between North 4170 Road and US 271. Officials say the I-35 ramp to Brahman Road is reopened, but drivers reminded never to drive around barricades and to turn around when encountering flooded roads. OG&E says power has been restored to most of the customers affected by Sunday night storms, with thousands still waiting for service to return. As of this afternoon, about 3,600 customers remained without power. The utility says 94% of outages have been restored, including all customers outside the Oklahoma City metro. OG&E reminding residents stay away from downed power lines. Report them immediately by calling 800-522-6870. School may be up for the summer, but safety is still top of mind for school administrators, staff, and parents. In 2024, the Oklahoma legislature passed Alyssa's Law, requiring each school system to implement a mobile panic alert system. Fox 25's Paige Taylor spoke with the superintendent of Dale Public Schools, who was the first in the state to start using the crisis alert wearable panic button. Joins us now live in studio. Paige, tell us more about this.
Well, Adam, this past school year was the first full school year Dale Public Schools used the wearable panic buttons. The superintendent tells me the buttons have been effective. Dale Public Schools staff wear their buttons every day. The superintendent says the buttons are pushed a few times a month in his district of 900 students. A button can be pressed 3 times or 8 times depending on the severity of an incident. The technology uses visual and audio cues and has enhanced 911 integration.
A number of instances that we used it. Most of them are very minor, but there are times where we have had to lock the school down. There may be somebody out there running around from the police, and we've had to lock the school down. And it's been very effective, especially on the inside for our communication with our teachers and students.
The company that makes the wearable panic buttons that Dale uses is called Syntagix. The company says it is in around 100 schools in Oklahoma and more than 17,000 schools nationwide. The superintendent tells me they were able to use grant money from the state to help pay for this technology. Reporting live in studio, Paige Taylor, Fox 25 News.
Thank you, Paige. An Oklahoma County judge denying a request from Richard Glossop's attorneys as his murder case moves towards a new trial. Glossop's legal team sought a new preliminary hearing, arguing his original 1997 hearing was flawed. The judge rejected the request, ruled the case should continue towards retrial. Glossop's next court appearance scheduled for September 28th. Edmond police made 2 more arrests in connection with the deadly Arcadia Lake shooting that left 1 person dead, more than 20 others injured. Investigators say 21-year-old Marcus Kane Jones was arrested today. A 16-year-old already being held in a juvenile detention facility has also been charged in the case. Jones faces a charge of accessory to murder, while the juvenile faces multiple charges, including shooting with intent to kill and gang-related offenses. These latest arrests bring the total number of suspects charged in the case to 6. 1 person dead, another facing a murder charge after a shooting in southeast Oklahoma City. Police responded Monday afternoon near East Hill Street, where they found 2 gunshot victims. 19-year-old Devion Holt later died at the hospital, while 19-year-old Davion Goldsby was hospitalized for treatment. Investigators believe an altercation between the 2 men escalated into a shootout, with both individuals firing weapons. Goldsby been arrested on a first-degree murder complaint. Prosecutors say they'll seek the death penalty in a high-profile Oklahoma City murder case. The Oklahoma County District Attorney's Office announced the decision today in the case against 33-year-old Cordell Wilson. Wilson is accused in the December 2025 death of 85-year-old Ina Balk, who was found dead inside her home. Investigators say Balk was sexually assaulted and suffered injuries that led to her death. Prosecutors describe the crime as especially heinous and cruel. Wilson remains in custody on a $10 million bond. His next court appearance scheduled for September 23rd. Federal authorities say 2 more people have been arrested in connection with an alleged plot targeting a UFC event at the White House earlier this month. The prosecutors charged 28-year-old Jordan Rinker of Missouri, 21-year-old William Faulkner of Washington with conspiracy to commit murder. Neither suspect has entered a plea. The arrests come after federal charges were announced against 5 other people last week as part of the same investigation. Officials say members of the group allegedly hope to use the attack to destabilize the government.
The FBI is very good about discerning when something rises to the level of potential action, and that's what happened in this case because there was something more than just talking online.
Investigators say several suspects had high-powered guns. They also say there were encrypted texts between about 20 people, including conversations about escape routes and a safe house and detailed maps and pictures of the area. Newly released 911 calls providing insight into how a mother helped alert authorities to an alleged plot targeting a major UFC event in Washington, D.C. Recordings obtained by Fox News Digital capture the mother of 19-year-old Tyson Proper and family member contacting law enforcement with concerns. The caller told dispatchers they were worried about Proper's access to weapons and ammunition, as well as what they described as a troubling mindset. Federal investigators say those calls helped launch the investigation into the alleged plot. Oil and gas prices continue to fall today as markets are optimistic about the U.S. and Iran reaching a deal that fully reopens the Strait of Hormuz, the trade route for about 1/5 of the world's oil. National correspondent Atra El Nashar reports on how peace talks are impacting your price at the pump.
Each day, American and Iranian leaders keep peace negotiations alive, injects more hope into a global energy market upended by war.
Markets have already been anticipating that a deal would happen. Now that it's in the works, markets are focused on inventories that may start to go up.
The national average gas price sitting at $3.92 Tuesday, down from the wartime high of $4.56, but still 94 cents higher than before the war.
Oil prices are tumbling, and it's been amazing. And the big thing is, Iran will not have a nuclear weapon.
Hopefully, we can activate the strait again in terms of ship passage and bring prosperity back to regional and global economy.
Iranian exports getting a boost this week from the Trump administration announcing a 60-day waiver on Iranian oil sanctions.
That is going to add potentially millions of barrels of oil into a global market that has been impaired by the lack of access to the Strait of Hormuz for the last several months.
As oil prices drop, it can take a few weeks for gas stations to pass lower fuel prices to customers.
Stations are generally delayed in how quickly they can raise prices. And on the flip side, they are absorbing more margin than they would now on the downside. And now stations are simply capturing more of that profit that they lost out on in March and April to make ends meet.
Traffic in the Strait is picking up. According to analytics firm Kepler, lately several dozen ships have been getting through daily. That's still just a fraction of the 120, 130 per day before the war. Now, insurance providers for shipping firms have a say in when their ships can cross safely clear from Iranian naval mines. In Washington, I'm Atra El-Nashar.
Cristiano Ronaldo added another historic achievement to his soccer career. The Portugal captain became the first player ever to score a goal in 6 different FIFA World Cup tournaments. Ronaldo reached the milestone during Portugal's match against Uzbekistan. Celebrating with teammates after finding the back of the net, the 41-year-old made his World Cup debut in 2006. Now has 9 career goals in the tournament. Ronaldo and Argentina's Lionel Messi are the only men's players to appear in 6 World Cups. Messi became the tournament's all-time leading scorer with 18 goals. He scored again yesterday to get to that total. The United States of America has a big birthday coming up this year. 250 years standing witness to some of the nation's earliest chapters were Liberty trees. National News Desk's Taylor Murray takes us to the site of the last known surviving original and the effort to preserve its legacy.
Amazing America 250 is sponsored by Balance of Nature.
Liberty trees were gathering places for American revolutionaries across all 13 colonies. In the heart of Annapolis, Maryland, stood one such tree with roots deeply intertwined in the story of America's founding. On the campus of St. John's College, one of the oldest colleges in America, stood a symbol of revolution, the Maryland Liberty Tree.
This is where the first sort of meetings were held to talk about independence, or the Sons of Liberty gathered under the Liberty Tree.
More than 120 feet tall, the tulip poplar reached impressive heights while its roots traced back to the birth of a nation.
You see, back in earlier times, sometimes you didn't have a building to convene, so you would pick the largest tree or the most beautiful tree, and that's how this particular Liberty Tree began.
As the Revolutionary War loomed in the 1700s, it was beneath the branches of the Maryland Liberty Tree where patriots gathered to plan their resistance against British rule. Among them were men who would later sign the Declaration of Independence.
And this place, this tree, was the rallying point for the Sons of Liberty when they were in protest of the Peggy Stewart, which was a ship that brought tea into Annapolis.
But at 400 years old came a moment in history that the nation's last original Liberty Tree would witness, but unfortunately not survive.
And then finally, Hurricane Floyd, which came up the coast in 1999, really put it in such a situation that they were afraid that it would fall over and hurt or kill someone. So they decided to take the tree down.
That's when Scott Watkins sprang into action.
I came over and asked for a portion of the tree. Could I have the roots? They said, take all you want.
From those roots, 2 pieces were commissioned. A cross that was gifted to the First Brick Chapel in Maryland, and a gavel that was presented in recent years to the Maryland State House.
I really hope that when people see this, that they take a moment to think about what that trajectory of history means and what it means to be celebrating 250 years of American democracy.
Today, the legacy of the Maryland Liberty Tree also lives on through a grafted tree with the same DNA that was planted on St. John's campus.
The roots of liberty.
To commemorate America's 250th anniversary, seedlings grown from the Liberty Tree scion are being planted across Maryland. In fact, Liberty Tree plantings are taking root in many other states across the country this year. For Amazing America, I'm Taylor Murray with the National News Desk.
Amazing America 250 is sponsored by Balance of Nature, the Phytonutrition Company.
So like we said in our on our first weather, the main question that we have is just going to be, what are we going to see for the rest of the day today after those storms have now pushed on through? Like I said, the atmosphere is going to be able to recharge, but there's not really much of a clear forcing to actually get storms to form in the first place. So while the energy might be there to support some pretty robust storms, if there just aren't any storms out there, then we may not actually see much more development. And so as we animate through our graphics here, you'll see that we're again still calling for there to be that slight risk for severe weather. But a lot of this would have been also factoring in what we had earlier on today, where we did have these gusts that were pretty strong out there. A large hail is also still possible too. But as we again animate through our futurecast, it might actually be a pretty quiet night for tonight. This is now a new model run, so we'll see if it shows anything here. And it's probably still going to show the storms holding off all the way until we get to the early morning hours of our Wednesday. So technically, it wouldn't be part of this evening or tonight's forecast. It would be part of tomorrow's forecast. So I still think that that is probably going to be the leading scenario that we're going to be talking about with our storm chances. Some models still want to bring down some storms from Kansas, but if they're not there, then that thing's going to come down. But I do think, though, that by tomorrow, we're probably looking at more scattered showers and storms that might actually be like today, where it's favoring kind of more the first half of the day. Then it kind of just kills off that chance for storms to pop back up again later on in the day. So we'll keep you up to date on that. But we still have the chance for more storms in our forecast in the coming days because of this stationary boundary that's also in place, as well as just the fact that we have that northwest flow pattern where we got the big ridge of high pressure off to our west, and the jet stream goes over the top of that. That does bring us a chance for storms that'll come down from Kansas and Colorado for the next couple of days, like, for example, tomorrow. Now, for tomorrow, we do have a large marginal risk, so probably looking at there to be a bit of an overlap with what our previous graphic from the SPC was showing with the slight risk. But again, gusts up to 70, golf ball sized hail, still in that marginal risk zone. But like I said, I think we're waiting until tomorrow morning to actually get these storms to form into the area. One other thing we do have to watch out for is you're going to see they're going to be pretty widespread. And so I do think that flooding is going to be a problem with these storms. We had a lot of rain today already and a lot of rain this week. And so if we have more storms coming on in that put down a lot of rain, we could be talking about some flooding issues for our Wednesday. Then I think the rest of our Wednesday is then pretty dry after those storms move on out of the area. And then it's just back to an isolated chance, we think, for Thursday and Friday. So there's a good area, as you can see, that is in our viewing area that's underneath that slight risk for flash flooding for the day tomorrow. And then on Thursday, looking at kind of a reset, as our storms will be, again, primarily in the morning and early afternoon tomorrow. Then we have all day tomorrow evening and then all day Thursday to kind of recharge. And so there is a slight risk for storms across the northeastern part of the state with a marginal everywhere else for Thursday. There might be still some rain showers and storms in the morning, so we'll see how that impacts things for our Thursday. But I think, though, that we're waiting until more of your just typical, late afternoon, early evening for our storms to develop. And once they make their way into green country, they really could take off with more of a wind and a hail threat. So we'll be watching that obviously very closely. We still have another about 1 to 2 inches worth of rain on the way to go for the next 7 days. And then by the time we get to the weekend, at that point, I think we're talking about things beginning to change a bit more. We've got very hot temperatures. The dry pattern is probably setting up, and it's also going to be pretty windy both those days as well. And temperatures will still be on their way up into the upper 90s as we head on into the early parts of next week. The reason why, I think we're looking at our heat dome, which we always talk about in the summertime. I think it's finally starting to get take hold and just kind of get going by the weekend and for early next week. And I think it's going to make for a very hot and dry forecast as we go later on into the end of the month and into early July. And that's how our 8 to 14 day looks. The first week of July looks to be hotter as well as drier than normal. So I think a hot and dry forecast is expected for the days around the 4th of July. So for tonight, we got temperatures that'll be around the 67 with mostly clouded skies and chance for showers and storms. Again, we're watching to see if we have the chance for storms that will develop and come on down from Kansas. But right now, we are going to keep this chance of rain currently, but we'll know by the 9 o'clock show what's going on, and we then potentially can just take it out. But by tomorrow morning, we do have those scattered showers and storms that'll be in place within a pretty dry rest of the day. Highs will be into the upper 80s, and those storm chances, like I said, will be more favorable during the first half of your Wednesday. And then as we go on into our 10-day forecast, again, there's chance for storms on Thursday and Friday. And then after that, it's very dry and very hot starting this weekend and going well into next week.
This is Fox 25 Sports.
The marathon that is the College World Series comes down to tonight. Who's going to get 27 outs and score one more run than the other guy? It is North Carolina. It is Oklahoma. Winner take all. Crowd was into it. Equal energy on both sides for this huge game. And that energy with Carolina blue early almost matching that gorgeous blue sky gracing Schwab Field. Jackson Rose gets the start, the lefty 5-0 on the season. He punches out 5 Sooners in just 2 1/3 innings. Then Oklahoma heats up. They draw first blood. Kyle Branch with the bleeder just out of the reach of Eric Paulson at first base. It scores Desan Harris from second. Sooners up 1-0. They scored on a wild pitch as well. So OU up 2-0 in the second. And look at what Harris did on defense. This should be an RBI for the Heels, but Harris from right field, the rifle. It gets Paulson at third base. Best part for OU, a run would have scored, but the third out is made. Look at this, feet from the would-be runner getting home. Gigantic defensive play for the Sooners to save a run. They get more offense in the third inning. Double B, Brendan Brock with a sweet swing single. Shot up the middle, it scores Jackson Willits. 3-0 Sooners, they get more in the fourth. Jackson Willits with 3 hits tonight. None bigger than this one. Bases loaded, and it's a 2-run smack. Jason Walk and Camden Johnson get home. 6-1 Sooners. But wait, there's more. In the 6th inning, Kyle Branch with the bases loaded 2-run base hit. Brock and Willits come around to score. It's 9-1 OU. And Branch was not done. He gets 2 more RBIs on the 3-run shot deep to left. One of 2 home runs for the Sooners tonight. And the sky starts to turn a different shade. The sunset on the Sooners. OU wins 13-2. Yes, flap those arms. Oklahoma wins the national championship in Omaha.
You can literally look at our whole lineup, like their transfers, like they're tough. Everybody in this program is tough. Like we'll all fight each other, and everybody will still get back up. Fist fight. I mean, it don't matter. Everybody's tough as nails, and yeah, I mean, it'll continue to be that way. Skip's not going to recruit any soft guys.
This is amazing. What's going through your mind? Oh, there you go.
I mean, it's just awesome how these guys have always had each other's back, and that we're here now, and we won it all. I mean, it shows a lot about this team and how we all supported each other throughout the year.
It feels amazing. You know, we worked really hard to get here, and you know, not just the guys on the field, but everybody, equipment managers, team managers, coaches. You know, really grateful to be a part of this group, and I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else.
We didn't have the perfect road at all. Probably had one of the toughest roads we've ever saw for national champ. I mean, I don't know if any of those guys would have thought we would be here a month ago, but I mean, here we are. And I mean, this season was not long enough. I wish I could play with those guys for years and years.
Amen to that. The Sooners go back to Norman with their 3rd national championship, the first one since 1994. That was the year of the Major League strike, and it was the Sooners striking this year so many years later. But for now, with the Sooners at the College World Series National Championship game, Bill Steckis, NTV Sports.
Well, a federal judge has blocked efforts in several states to restrict what can be purchased with food stamp benefits. The Trump administration approved waivers allowing 5 states to ban the use of SNAP benefits for sugary drinks and candy. But a federal judge in Washington, D.C. ruled the U.S. Department of Agriculture lacked the authority to approve those waivers. The decision came after a group of SNAP recipients filed a lawsuit challenging the restrictions. Amazon's biggest shopping event of the year officially underway. Prime Day 2026 started today, giving members access to millions of exclusive deals across the site. Amazon says shoppers can find discounts of 50% or more on a wide range of products. Prime Day runs through June 26th. Olivia Rodrigo turning a longtime dream into reality with a new music festival focused entirely on women. The singer announced the inaugural Daisy Chain Field Festival set for August 29th at Great Park in Irvine, California. The lineup includes major female artists. Rodrigo says she has dreamed of creating the festival for years, but wanted to build an event that celebrates women in music. We got more news ahead coming up for you right after this.
This is the Fox 25 News at 5:30.
We got to start right away with Fox 25 Chief Meteorologist Jack Gerfen, your only local forecast at 5:30. Jack, potentially more storms on the way here. I know you said we're into that domino effect section. We did see some showers during the afternoon today and some thunder and lightning out there. So what does that mean for our evening tonight?
I think we're probably going to be dry for this evening. I think we also might be dry for the remainder of the night tonight as well. These may have used up what was out there. Now, there is going to be some, we'll talk about, there's going to be some recharging of the atmosphere where a lot of the ingredients come back. But the problem, though, is that if there's nothing to take advantage of that, then there just won't be any storms, even if the environment is good enough. So there's a chance that we are looking to be actually dry for the remainder of the evening. By tomorrow morning, I think we do have storms, but it'll be actually late enough in the morning where it would be technically considered tomorrow's forecast and not overnight. Right now, though, in the metro area, you can see that we are nice and calm after it was a pretty active afternoon out there in the metro. And then earlier on this morning, a lot of storms were moving on through the western side of the state. Temperatures right now are primarily in the 70s since we've got the rain-cooled air. There's still some 60s that it's a bit farther off to the southeast of the metro, but our winds are now generally starting to turn back out of the southeast right now behind all the storms that came on through earlier on. Now, you can see that we had some storms that were by Elk City and Cheyenne earlier on. Those are now gone. So now basically we are all dry in northwest Oklahoma, the panhandles, well, except for by Amarillo. And then we are noticing that most of Kansas right now is pretty quiet. And we've got some storms just starting to fire up right now near Colorado Springs, just off the Rockies. There's actually a lot of wildfire smoke coming in from some wildfires in Colorado, and those are overspread in Colorado as well as Kansas. That might be actually helping to kind of reduce the storm activity out there right now. But there is still the chance that we could be talking about storms coming on down from that direction by the overnight hours. But like I said, I think we're probably actually good for the remainder of the evening. There's no cold front or a dry line that's out there to provide us with any real forcing to get any storms to take advantage of the potentially good ingredients up there. So as you're going to see, we're probably actually dry until we get to the actual technical morning hours of our Wednesday. So probably by that point, we're looking at our storms coming on through. And now with it being, now so late where it's not really part of tomorrow's forecast, that then means that that domino effect is in place to where most of our storms tomorrow are probably going to be like it was today during our morning and early afternoon, where it's then dry the rest of the day. So we'll have 60s overnight tonight. We'll be in the 80s and 90s for a lot of the area tomorrow. It just depends on when those storms are done and when they move out of the area. But then I do think, though, that we're talking about more storm chances for our Thursday and Friday. Then by that time, though, I think we're looking at our pattern to begin to change, where, Adam, we're talking about drier conditions starting to set up by the weekend. It's also when it gets hot again, too. So we'll talk more about that in our main weather coming up in a little bit.
All right, thank you, Jack. Well, school may be out for the summer, but safety is still at top of mind for school administrators, staff, and parents. In 2024, the Oklahoma legislature passed Alyssa's law requiring each school system to implement a mobile panic alert system. Fox 25's Paige Taylor spoke with the superintendent of Dale Public Schools, who was the first in the state to start using the crisis alert wearable panic button. Joins us live in studio with more. Paige, what can you tell us?
Well, Adam, this past school year was the first full school year Dale Public Schools used the wearable panic buttons. The superintendent tells me the buttons have been effective.
Our board, their goal is to be the safest school in Oklahoma. We really feel like this is a tool that gets us closer to that.
Dale Public Schools was the first school in Oklahoma to use the Syntagix Crisis Alert wearable panic buttons. This past school year was the first full school year the district used this technology.
There was a number of instances that we used it. Most of them are very minor, but there are times where we have had to lock the school down, and there may be somebody out there running around from the police.
Dale Public Schools staff wear their buttons every day. The superintendent says the buttons are pushed a few times a month in his district of 900 students.
Unlike other options, this puts a little bit of control in the teacher's hands because each teacher has a badge, and any issue that they have, whether it's just a minor issue that they need a little help with, they can communicate with their administrators. Like if a kid falls and is hurt a little bit, then we're going to get an alert on our phone right away. Or if it's a big issue and something really bad is going on, they can get a lot of help really quickly.
A button can be pressed 3 times or 8 times depending on the severity of an incident. The technology uses visual and audio cues and has enhanced 911 integration. Syntagix was founded in 2018 after the Marjory Stoneman Douglas tragedy in Parkland, Florida. The company says it is in around 100 schools in Oklahoma and more than 17,000 schools nationwide.
Many companies developed app-based solutions, and in theory that sounds like it makes sense because everybody has a phone. But in the case of an emergency, trying to, number one, if you don't have your phone on you, you obviously can't use it. Even if you do, you have to be able to get into your phone, be able to find the app, et cetera, et cetera. And then in the moment of emergency, sometimes your cognitive abilities are somewhat impaired during those situations.
Syntagix released a report on Tuesday from the 2025-2026 school year highlighting data such as alert reasons.
Every time that badge is pressed and you have to identify a reason why it was pressed, one of the responders closes the alert with a set of reasons, like whatever reason it was, whether it was a medical emergency or whether it was a physical altercation, whatever it was. So as soon as they close that alert, it becomes a data point.
The superintendent tells me they were able to use grant money from the state to help pay for this technology. Reporting live in studio, Paige Taylor, Fox 25 News.
Thank you, Paige. And Oklahoma expanding its efforts to keep middle students safe, at school. A new partnership between the Department of Public Safety and State Department of Education will increase school security training and campus safety assessments statewide. Officials say the effort focuses on prevention, preparedness, and emergency response. The Oklahoma School Security Institute will lead the program. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol remembering a longtime K-9 officer. K-9 Dak served with OHP since 2015, helped seize large amounts of illegal drugs during his career. Dak passed away from natural causes on June 7th, just days after working his final shift. AAA expects a busy 4th of July travel period across Oklahoma. More than 639,000 Oklahomans projected to travel during the holiday, most hitting the road. Nationwide, more than 72 million people expected to travel. AAA reminding folks prepare their vehicles and plan for heavier traffic and longer airport lines. An Oklahoma City police officer being recognized for extraordinary heroism and service. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Western District of Oklahoma has named Oklahoma City Police Sergeant Keaton Zerby its 2026 hometown hero. Officials say Zerby acted quickly during a dangerous fire involving law enforcement when a vehicle was loaded with ammunition, helping evacuate residents and warn neighbors as the flames threatened nearby homes. Fire investigators later determined his actions likely saved lives. Embark making changes to weekend bus service in Oklahoma City beginning later this month. Starts June 28th. Weekend fixed route bus service hours will shift to operate from 8 till 5. Embark says the change follows a review of ridership trends, which showed the lowest demand during early morning and late evening weekend hours. Officials say Rapid Northwest service will not be affected and will continue operating on its normal weekend schedule. Major economic development project coming to Moore. Healthcare giant McKesson has selected Moore for a new pharmaceutical distribution center, expected to bring more than 200 jobs to the area. The project represents a $179 million investment and will serve customers across multiple states. When school's in session, thousands of Oklahoma children rely on free breakfast and lunch programs, but when summer arrives, those meals disappear, leaving many families scrambling to fill the gap.
When we see school let out for the summer, you have kids that maybe they're relying on the school districts for breakfast and lunch. They are now missing those meals. It puts a financial strain on those families. It can be difficult for them to get to the school if there's a summer feeding program at the school. There's a lot of different ways that it just causes hardships for families. That's where we kind of try to step in with our summer feeding program and just be as accessible as possible and provide as many meals as possible to any Oklahoman under the age of 18.
The Regional Food Bank says demand has continued to grow as families face higher grocery costs and ongoing financial pressures. To help, the organization has expanded programs that provide grab-and-go meal boxes and even home delivery for some families.
The summer has been pretty busy. It's been just over the past year, we've just kind of seen an increase in need across our state and service area. Everything's really expensive. I go to the grocery store myself and it's expensive to purchase meals for my family. I just think about folks who are a single parent and trying to get food for their families, and it's hard.
The Regional Food Bank of Oklahoma says initiatives like the Sinclair Cares are crucial in providing awareness to causes like Fight Against Hunger in Oklahoma, but we can't do it without you. So donations and volunteers are a critical part of meeting the growing demand. So if you'd like to help, scan the QR code right there on your screen. Instagram taking a bigger step into television viewing. The Meta-owned platform says it'll begin testing horizontal video on Instagram for TV, making content easier to watch on larger screens. The company also experimenting with longer form videos, episodic creator series, and new live TV-style experiences. The changes coincide with the launch of Instagram for TV on Samsung televisions. Till now, Instagram for TV had only been available on Amazon Fire TV and Google TV devices. Meta expanding its push into wearable technology with a new line of AI-powered smart glasses. The company rolling out its new in-house designed Muse smart glasses in 3 styles, including a model designed in partnership with Kylie Jenner. The glasses play music, take pictures, translate languages, and answer questions about a user's surroundings using artificial intelligence. Prices start at $299, making them less expensive than some of Meta's latest Ray-Ban smart glasses.
We've been watching a number of storms move on through the area today that had that definitely packed a punch. Now, right now, as you can see, across portions of northwest Oklahoma, Kansas, Colorado, there's really not much activity going on out there. There's, like I said earlier, there's actually a lot of wildfire smoke coming in off the Rockies across Colorado and Kansas. But we are starting to see a few storms right now developing right around the Colorado Springs area, just off the mountains. And those potentially might be what we end up talking about with our storms for probably tomorrow morning. So there is still a slight risk out there from the Storm Prediction Center that goes through tomorrow morning. But I think, though, that we're actually quiet for the remainder of the night tonight until we get those storms. But it would be actually so late that it would be considered tomorrow's forecast. So as we animate through, we had our big storms coming on through, which we've talked about earlier on. Now we've got quiet conditions for really the remainder of the evening. We do have some good ingredients here for severe weather in northwest Oklahoma. But the problem, though, is that without there being any forcing, like a cold front or something like that, to actually take advantage of that, it's just going to sit there. So I don't think we're really looking at any storms until we get to, technically tomorrow morning when they begin to come into the area. And that might be, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning by the time that those begin to move on in. And then at that point, then I think we're talking about a bigger cluster of storms where it could be once again talking about a wind threat as well as some heavy rain potentially coming in out of those storms too. And that's all thanks to the fact that we have the stationary boundary that's nearby the next few days, as well as just the overall bigger picture flow where we have that northwest flow pattern where the winds with the jet stream are coming in over the top of the ridge and they come out of the northwest for us. And that brings those storms down from Colorado and Kansas into our area. So we're keeping the chance for storms in our forecast through the end of the work week. Now for tomorrow, we've got a big margin of risk, which does include that, as you can see, that time frame there all day tomorrow. But I think this model is actually going to be pretty close to what we're going to be expecting, where if we have to wait until tomorrow morning for our showers and storms to arrive, some of those could be strong to severe, and as they push on through by the morning hours and early lunchtime, we're probably then looking at dry conditions for the remainder of the afternoon as well as for tomorrow evening. So it actually might be a pretty quiet second half of the day, just like it is today, where we had all of our activity earlier on in the morning and afternoon, and then by the late afternoon, early evening, we're dry for the rest of the day. But we do have to watch out, though, for the potential for some heavy rain, and then on Thursday, that chance for severe weather kind of resets. We'll probably be looking at a lot of leftover outflow boundaries with our storms that we've had the past couple days, and so storms could form along those on Thursday, but that would be more of your typical time frame, late Thursday afternoon into the evening hours. Now on Thursday, there still could be some rain showers and storms out there in the morning. We just have to wait and see on that. But I do think, though, that as you can go into the evening hours Thursday, there are your storms. And then as they move on into the eastern side of the state, they might begin to pick up a bit more in intensity. So storms remain in our forecast for Wednesday, for our Thursday, and also for Friday, too, where we could still be talking about a decent amount of rain, anywhere from around, let's see, about 1/4 of an inch to maybe even close to 2 inches worth of rain in a few locations. But things begin to change by this weekend. We've had hot temperatures and a dry pattern that looks to start up with those temperatures that'll be into the middle and upper 90s. And that pattern actually continues into next week, too, with even hotter temperatures, thanks to what we think is going to be the beginning of the heat dome setting up, where you usually get the hot temperatures and the dry conditions. Our forecast, as you can see with our model, is mostly dry during this time. That would be, again, for the weekend and for a lot of next week. And the 8 to 14 day keeps us in the warmer than average trend and also drier than average trend, too. And that's going to be for the week of the 4th of July, which I think is what we actually would want for that week, too. That way everyone can be outside and enjoying the heat. 67 overnight tonight with a chance for storms. Again, we're just watching out for the potential if anything tries to pop back up again going later on into the overnight hours. But I think we have to wait until technically tomorrow for the storms to get here. Highest tomorrow will be in the upper 80s, and we'll see those storms primarily during the morning and early afternoon hours of our Wednesday. After that, more storms are possible Thursday and Friday, and then it's just hot and dry pretty much after that.
Yeah, it's going to have to kind of make our way through. We'll see. I mean, I hope you're right about tonight, especially with some of those folks who are still dealing with some damage. I think if we can hold off on some other stuff, it'd be great.
And that's the thing is that it looked, when we were making our forecast, especially yesterday, it looked like, oh man, we could be looking at another type of similar situation. Now it's not as clear, but I do think, though, that if we get the storms tomorrow morning, kind of like what we had today, there will be some severe storms out of that. But in terms of it just being as bad as what it was on Sunday night, Monday morning, it's not going to be like that.
All right, well, here's what's coming up tonight on Fox 25. You got the FIFA World Cup, Panama versus Croatia. You got FIFA World Cup today at 8, followed by the Fox 25 news at 9.
I'm Dee Dee Gatton with the National News Desk in Washington, D.C., and this is your news update.
As alleged in the various indictments, these individuals participated in healthcare fraud schemes involving over $6.5 billion in false claims submitted to Medicare, Medicaid, and other healthcare programs.
The Justice Department has announced charges against 455 people across 45 states accused of participating in healthcare fraud involving billions of dollars. Authorities claim the fraud included false billing, kickback arrangements, unnecessary medical services, and other schemes. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche said it marks the greatest combined federal and state effort to combat healthcare fraud in history. And
he's wanting to leave this weekend and go with a group of people to help, fight the corrupt government.
Newly released 911 calls are shedding light on how an Ohio mother helped thwart the alleged UFC White House terror plot. The mother of Tyson Proper and her cousin called authorities with concerns about Proper's weapons, mindset, and plans to, quote, fight the corrupt government. Authorities say Proper was one of 7 men involved in a conspiracy targeting the June 14th event. NBC Today show anchor Savannah Guthrie is again pleading for tips about the disappearance of her mother, Nancy Guthrie, saying this morning that, quote, somebody knows something. It comes after law enforcement revealed that a ransom note sent to news outlets in February said the 84-year-old had died and that the person or people responsible did not mean for her to die. And that's your news update.
You can see more from the National News Desk at 5 o'clock Saturdays on Fox 25. The NBA draft is tonight, but there's a big trade already getting some of the shine here. Multiple reports indicate Milwaukee Bucks superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo has been traded to Miami Heat. Also sent Bobby Portis to Miami, while Milwaukee received a few guys, including Tyler Hero, some draft picks. Didn't feel like there's a whole lot going on. One of those picks reportedly the 13th overall selection in the draft. The trade, it'll be official on July 6th. So this was all like dotted I's and crossed T's. It's all been agreed to.
Yeah.
But it won't officially be a move until then. And it's kind of been interesting, the reaction to it. It's just kind of been like womp.
Yeah. I think, though, that it's like the Bucks needed some space.
Yeah.
They need some space. Yeah. And, I mean, obviously, Giannis is good.
Yeah.
And, you can get some space by trading him.
Yeah, it had been about a year and a half, almost 2 years now of uncertainty there. So I'm sure that the fans even, they're sad to see him go. I'm sure they're at least moving on, keep things going.
Yep.
You know, I think Oklahoma City knows that tale maybe a little too well. Now, scientists have discovered a remarkable new spider in Australia that turns its web into a spring-loaded trap. Researchers say the newly identified ballista spider uses a high-tension web system to capture green tree ants. When an ant triggers the trap, the web launches the prey upward towards the spider waiting above. Researchers say it's the only known example of a spider web trap that is activated by the prey and not the predator. I'm just glad that spiders are small.
And also, everything bad is over in Australia.
Yeah.
All the bad stuff is over there.
Just another reason to not try to go survive the outback. Look at this. Look
I
at this.
know.
You just had it. I don't know why you're messing with that anyway, and there you go. What are we doing?
Yeah. Hopefully, keep those spiders away from Bluey, you know.
Yeah, right.
Needs to make more episodes for my son.
Yeah, Bluey, don't touch that web.
Yeah.
That got a little wild. And the latest Spider-Man movie merchandise spinning up some criticism online. Oh, man, we got another popcorn bucket here, and drink cup for Spider-Man Brand New Day were released ahead of the film's July 31st debut. Some fans say the combo container's translucent design, which appears to extend from Spider-Man's wrist, misses the mark. Others have questioned whether the bucket can actually hold much popcorn at all. Valid. Some fans also say simpler designs might be the better choice. I pose to you, have you seen a collectible popcorn bucket that actually made sense and functioned?
A couple of them, but most of the time they don't.
Yeah.
And it's just
they just become a joke.
Yeah.
They just become a meme or a GIF. We all know the one we're talking about.
Just give me the big bucket and it's got, Spider-Man on it that can hold a gallon of popcorn. That's all I want.
That's it. And hopefully we'll get another crack at this thing for Dune 3.
Yes.
Because that was the one.
That was the one.
That was the one.
That was definitely the one.
That
was a choice to make that way.
Now, call it an oopsie.
Yep.
That's what we'll do there.
Our temperatures for tomorrow are going to be likely held down into the upper 80s for tomorrow, as we're probably looking at our storms again doing what we had today, where they favor more of the morning and early afternoon time frame. I think we are done with storms tonight, and the storms that we would be waiting for would again be the morning round tomorrow morning. Then as we go throughout the remainder of our forecast, we'll have more isolated storms for Thursday and Friday, with drier conditions starting up on the weekend, and that trend will continue into next week.